a video for you guys, for those who wants to I mean I'll be doing top down analysis and market direction and trend line. So let's start. So first of all, when I want to do my top down analysis, I first this is my past setup. Let me clear it so it will be free. Okay, when I want to do my top down analysis, I first off go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, I'm seeing that we're currently bearish. This sell that happened here, I caught this sell previously, but I don't trade this pair like that. So, and then I went to the weekly time frame first. Weekly time frame is still showing me that we are currently bearish, and I'm seeing a demand zone, which is this demand zone here on the weekly time frame. My demand zone on the weekly time frame here, which you can see that price came into that demand zone previously, which has caused this impulsive move to the upside. Though we are bearish though, yeah. Then you go to the lower time frame. On the daily time frame here, you can look closely. You see that this was the other block that caused this bounce from price, meaning that I'm still expecting a reaction from this place, which is already reacting from already. So we were bearish, then bullish. And what caused this bearish? Current trend is bullish, But for me, this buy have not really solidified to me that this is a valid buy because we have not had a market structure shift here. Because I expect price to take out this high, meaning that price may disrespect this low, this point of interest, and continue lower, or it may break higher and continue what higher. But I will be looking at it to see what's going to happen. Now that I've identified my current trend, which is we are bullish here and we are bearish here, and if you look closely here, you'll see this. Okay. So now that I've this was on the key level here, you can see that this was an order block on the daily time frame. Now I went to lower time frame for this. So now that I've gone to lower time frame, I've already clearly identified that we are currently going to be buying this market and we're not going to be what selling. So now that I've identified where I'm going to be taking my buys from after this sale that happened here, and on the forward time frame, I've seen that I'm expecting a reaction from this key level here, which is this key level here, meaning that I expect price will have a reaction here. But I'm waiting to see if price will break. If price breaks this higher, that means we're having the high percentage chances that we're going to continue going higher. But if price fails to disrespect, it means I might come back down and what continue higher or what we might continue selling. So now that I've identified my key levels and where price may actually come out from, what I need to do now is minimize this and go to the 45-minute time frame. So on the 45-minute time frame, this is what I saw on the 45-minute time frame. This was my this thing. So price took out this high, which was from here. Price took out this high, which was created from here. So this have confirmed my what? My market structure shift. So now that price have confirmed my market structure shift, what do? I look for an unmitigated point of interest, which is this other block here. If you look closely, you see that this other block here was not mitigated. If you look here, you see that this was an unmitigated other block on the 45-minute time frame. And if you drag it out, that was where price tapped into before continued before this massive push that happened. And now this is why I got my confluence of this trade. First of all, why the break of structure of this high here and how the market structure shifts here. Now after price broke this structure, there was no proper inducement for me here. And this low was one that was near the point of interest. So I dragged this out like this. Are you seeing it here? And this point of interest was mitigated during Asian session. So this has become my what inducement. So now that price failed to buy higher from this level, it failed to break new structure higher. What happened? This zone now is a very point of interest, and this took like a whole week, let's say 2.5 weeks to come back to this point of interest. That will have patience, and so that's how I was able to cash this nice buy from this setup. I seen it, so I took this buy from here, and we went high. So this was how I do my top down analysis. for this pair. And I told you guys that the last bearish candlestick before this buy that caused the break of structure is the other block. Why the last bullish candlestick that caused a break to the downside, which was this, is a breaker block. So this is a breaker block, this is an order block. A breaker block is an order block that was disrespected to the downside, causing it to become what, a breaker block. Why an order block is the last bearish candlestick formed, or the last bullish candlestick formed before massive buy. Same thing with this zone here. This was the last bullish candlestick formed before this sell. This is an order block. This is an order block here too. So yeah, that's how you identify an order block, and your order block has to make sure it has to be unmitigated. This is an order block because this was the last bullish candlestick before this massive sell. This is an order block, but I will not advise to taking this type of setup because why? There's high percentage chances that it will not be respected. So now that we have identified, we have seen the setup that we took from here. I'll do another analysis on what pair again. Let me see. Let me pick another pair. Let me see Euro card. So Euro card. So on Euro card now, I went to the higher time frame. On the weekly time frame, this was what I saw. I mean, I don't want to delete this one. Let me go to another side. FXCM. Okay. So this was what I saw in the weekly time frame. We are currently what we are buying to the upside and Euro US, sorry, Euro card. Now I went to the daily time frame. After I've confirmed where price is heading to, I came here. So for me now, this was what I saw on the weekly time frame. There was a breaker block here where price, this was another the last big bullish candlestick before this before price broke above it, causing this market structure, is causing this break of structure. So price broke it. There was where price was reacting from, right? Yeah, so I went to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, I minimized it. This was the whole candlestick. But for me to see this as my point of interest, so let's see. This was what was causing price to buy, but this is not a valid point of interest because it's not really aligned with what I was looking for. So that means that I'm expecting buy and sells this week for price to come out what, clear, to come back into this point of interest because there's an inducement level here. So now that I've seen where price will come back into, I'll be going lower. So now this is where I expect price to come back into to confirm my let me cover this breaker block here. So on this is my point of interest where I expect price to come back into. Now what will continue what going higher. And what gave me the confidence to start looking for these sales, because first of all, after price used this was there was inducement here. So this was the point of interest that price used in buying to the upside here. And now for me, I've not really, this pair did not really show me any nice setup. So let me move from that pair that we use on this. Euro JPY. Euro JPY. Okay. So on Euro JPY, we are bullish to the upside, and on the daily time frame, you can see that the daily time frame, this pair is not clear. Looking for a pair that is clear, not this one is not clear. What pair will I add? Let me see. Okay, yes, I know this pair. Let me add. Let me use a crypto pair. So since these other ones are not really that clear for me, the strategy works on all sections, so it don't really matter. It works on audio pair. So let me move this. So on the weekly and daily time frame on this pair, we are currently bearish. I see the bearish movement to the downside. So now I've seen that price is bearish, and we can see that price was reacting from this weekly key level, which was this weekly order block here. So where price was reacting from, and this was the inducement here. Now I go to daily time frame. On the daily time frame, this was the weekly point of interest. But for me now, I want to make sure that this, so now that I've seen that this was the point of interest that price was reacting from on the daily time frame, the weekly time frame. Now on this daily time frame, I expected price to react from here to what before started selling, and this was where price was reacting from too. So now I went to the forward time frame. I've known the trend currently bearish on we are bearish on Galaxy USDT. So do the same setup I trade every day. so you can see clearly. So I waited for price to react from here to showcase to me that it's going to be a valid point of interest, but price did not really like. So I put my point of interest from here, and it's where price reacted from. So now that this has showcased to me that we are bearish, I waited for a market structure shift, which was I went to the lower time frame, and the lower time frame. Let me make it bigger so I can get it faster. Okay, if you look closely, you will see that we had a market structure shift from this level here, or the market structure shift of this level. So now that we had a market structure shift, I wanted for price to come back into this point of interest, but looking at this point of interest here, I wanted to make sure that the order block was minimized a little for me. So I went to the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame here, okay, on the 30-minute time frame, this was what I was saying. Nice. Okay, so this was the breaker block from the 30-minute time frame here, and then this was the breaker structure of this low and a market structure shift. This was my point of interest. And what happened? So this was how I was able to start looking for sells till what? I can cover this high here or something like this so that price will not take me out. And I targeted the nearest low, which was the liquidity point of key point of interest. And now that price took it out, I came back again. I saw this unmitigated order block, which was here. This unmitigated order block here, which was here. And this was the inducement level, which was this high created here, and the breakout structure. For me, this I mark my breakout structure. This was a breakout structure, but not valid enough. This was a breakout structure, and this was also a breakout structure. So this was the main breakout structure, yeah. And yeah, so let me see. This was not my session. Let's say I took the trade from 11 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock in the morning, depending on the time. I waited for price to come to my entry, and then what to took this trade, because this one too was by my session triggered by 5 o'clock. So and this one triggered, I took this one by this social time. But since it came inside here by during Asian session, I'll regard this level as inducement. So for me, I'll be picking out this other block here, since it's the highest one here. And point of interest is going to be here. I'm going to come up point of interest here and then trade from here. And what happened? We went high lower. So these are my setup is, because through that I've already identified where price is going heading to and what I'm going to be looking for that whole week. And yes, before I take any of my setup, I mentioned that I mark out the opposing other blocks, which is this other block or breaker blocks, anyone want to call them. These things here are what causes reaction from the price, which means that if price come back into here, price will what? Buy again, then continue lower. So now that I've seen that where price will react from, I then go to the 4-hour time frame, because that was from the daily time frame. 4-hour time frame, and I pick out the point of interest that could cause price to continue selling. So looking at this, let's see, it was this breaker block here, but price not really come back into it. So I'll just say maybe this FVG, have a look gap somewhere around there. But since I know I don't have, let me see. Maybe on the 3-hour time frame, you might see something here. Let me go to 3-hour time frame and check. Okay. Yeah, yes, I seen it. So the 3-hour time frame. Sorry. So the 3-hour time frame here. So yes. So where price was reacting from, and this was where price caused the market structure shift. So what happened? So looking for what sells until you went lower like this. And before looking for these sales, I know I told you guys always look for an opposing order block or breaker blocks that could cause price to buy to the upside before continuing selling. And if you look here closely, you see that we had another opposing order block, which was this opposing order block here. So this have shown me that if price come back into here, it will come back to this other block and will continue lower. So on the 4-hour time frame now, I go to 4-hour time frame, After marking that out, I've minimized it. I've seen that price going to react from there. What I'll mark out this other block here. So I expect price to come back into to continue lower. So yeah, price bounce from this key level a lot of time before what it started going lower. So that's why I look for my setups. I first do my top down analysis, then I start looking for the trend. And yeah, I told you guys something too. I forgot to mention something. Don't forget to add trend line, because some trend line is also another thing I use in identifying a trend. And what do I mean by trend line? Trend line is things like this. It's some things like this are my trend line. So this is a trend line. That's the trend line. Once price broke this high, we shifted structure to the upside before price reacted from this key level and started selling. So this is also a trend line. This thing will help you to check if price have shifted structure from bullish to bearish to bearish to bullish. Trend line. You can see if you look close, you see that we all had a trend line here. Trend line. The what trend line? Just continuous repeated trend line. See what we broke this and continue, which is looking at Bitcoin. Bitcoin might continue dropping lower because why? This massive rejection that happened here. This rejection have already declared indicated to me that price will come back